Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm going to do that intro twice now because I forgot I changed around the structure. Tonight we're going to talk about The Last of Us, Episode 8, Season 1. It's going to be my first impressions in a little bit of a 10 to 15 minute segment. Let me know if you guys can hear me good, see me good. I'm going to be standing today to do the review. I didn't feel like sitting down, so anyway, let me know if you can hear me good, see me good. Something seems a little iffy with the sound. That's why I'm asking, especially tonight. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, just I forgot what I was going to say. Let me get the poll started. I'm just waiting a minute or two to get the final, cluster of people to join. Make sure you guys can hear me good and see me good. Something was off with the settings of the camera. It looked like the camera was good, but the saturation is off. Something's just not right. So I don't know. I'm, designing stuff for the new, getting a new backdrop set up just so we can have the Flaversaw switched up. I'm a little behind on that. So I think I'm just going to put, fixing the backdrop up on pause a minute, get caught up with some editing, and then I'll get back to it. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe, I get a little bit of time, I'll be able to burn through getting some of it together. Audio is a little timey. What does that mean? Audio sounds a little timey. I don't know what timey means. You said it twice. Timney. Do you mean echoey, a little tinny? It could be bouncing off from, maybe I'm too far away. Does that sound better? Yeah. You can hear me good? I think it's because I think he says tinny, like an echoey. I think that's because I'm standing far away from it. What I could do is bring the mic forward a little bit, but actually, you know what? I could slide this over. And then I'll be closer. No, that fucks up. All right. I could do this. Yeah, I could do that. And now I clipped the initial review, so audio sounds fine. Audio sounds good. It's not that bad. Well, I'm going to put it where I had it then, so that way, I'm going to take a seat here in a minute, but let me put this on play. This is what you saw in episode tonight. The game looks like it is glitching, though. I don't know if that's just on my end or if you guys noticed that on your end, too. The game doesn't matter. It's just background. But this is what happened in the show tonight, and I was showing you a comparison, but it is mad glitchy. It's just background images to have on screen. Let me get in here before they kill me, and then we can chill. All right, so what would be a good spot to have her chilling? She's hiding with her little goggles on. Yeah, hella glitchy, right? That's new. I mean, I haven't changed anything, and the game is hella glitchy. I reset it twice, unless I need to check for... The game doesn't matter. We're not doing gameplay tonight. We're just going to do a Speak Your Geek for The Last of Us and see how that goes. But if you guys are in here and we're ready to rock and roll, I'll pop out the chat, start the poll. Matter of fact, I'm going to put the poll on the screen now for episode 8. And then we'll get into it. Now, just a little heads up in case you missed it. The idea is to clip out the first impression review, so that way it's just like a 10-15 minute section. I'm not on Wi-Fi. Here's Negan. I'm totally hardwired into the internet, so because Wi-Fi is glitchy, but I haven't been on Wi-Fi in quite a while. Anyhow, I think when I first moved in here, I was on Wi-Fi for like a week or two, but it doesn't hold up. Anyway, yeah, so I'm popping out the chat now. When you guys The poll is in the chat, so go ahead and vote. But I'll do a little intro, and then we'll get into my first impression review. If you're new here, I'm going to get into fan feedback after that. And then what I'll do is after the stream, I'm going to cut out just that initial review portion and upload it by itself. So that way you can watch the whole stream or just the review portion. So, and then obviously after my review that I'm just about to get into now, that's when we're going to get into the fan feedback. So if you have any comments or whatever and you want to interact in that part of the chat, that'll be coming up after. So just so you don't think I'm going to ignore you all night, if you're new here, that's the structure we do. And support is absolutely appreciated. If any tips come in during the review, I'll let them play since it's text to speech. But I'll give answers to anything that's in a tip review or a tip text to speech after my review. All right, so we're gonna get into this though, if you guys don't mind. Where is the timer? Because we got enough people here. All right, so about 6 minutes in. Yeah, I'll remember that. All right, welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about The Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 8. Real quick first impression review. I do have to say, right off the rip, a friend of mine who is a journalist already watched all 8 episodes, and I stayed away from spoilers, but just recently I finally broke down and asked, is there any more infected to finish? Because someone in chat last week said they don't think there's any more infected. And I said, that's impossible. You need infected for David, because it just helps bridge that, the moment together so well. And you need infected for the ending, at least, if not anything plot-wise, at least just for that cool, the cool factor, which this show does not have. It does not have that cool fun factor where they just said, listen, and I know I'm going to get 100 people jumping in chat saying, you don't need action for action's sake. Well, boy, are you a fucking sourpuss. You know what I'm saying? You don't need action all the time that's just empty. Absolutely agreed. But when it comes to movies and shows and games and comics, and you need an element that is simply just the cool factor. And if you can take it and tie it into the plot as much as possible, that makes it even better. This show, almost all the way throughout, is severely lacking in that cool factor. It looks beautiful, but there's no infected. There's no bloater in this. And again, my friend said there's infected in episode 9. And from the trailer, I'm assuming it's a flashback. So there's no more infected. There's no final bloater showdown. How awesome would it have been if we saw how the bloater was a tank and we witnessed Joel defeating a bloater? I mean, that would have been friggin' awesome. But we got a tiny morsel of violence in this, which the only reason I'm bringing it up is because it's clunky when they cut around it. And they actually let it play. You can tell they filmed it in a way to show as little gore as possible, but it's at least it's there. At least they didn't just Ellie goes to cut and then they do a weird angle where you can't even see the hit. At least it's there. So I give them credit, the bare minimum with the violence, but it's at least in the episode and not cut out like most of the episodes up until this point. David being religious is a big old, give me a break. Now, if you're not familiar with Hollywood, just to throw it out there, they absolutely hate Christians. I'm sorry if you're a Christian, but they hate them if they try to blacklist you. And this is coming directly from people working in the industry. It's so bad to the point where it's a running joke. Who said this joke? I think it was it? I forget if it was Jim Carrey or Matthew McConaughey or something, but they said that people they had prayed with on set or after, he had mentioned God in a speech one time, and he saw a bunch of these people that he knows are deeply religious kind of looking around to see if it was okay to clap or whatever, and it wasn't. But the point, though, is, and I'm not religious myself, but the point is, because of this weird hatred towards Christianity, making all these villains, religious villains, if you notice it, once you hear about it, you notice it, and then it starts clicking. That's what the whole point is. It's generic. It's lame as shit. it doesn't work well. And in this episode, it's not needed. It didn't work well. It was kind of stupid. We got to see the real Joel. If you don't know, the James character, the right-hand man, so to speak, to David, was actually the voice actor that played Joel. When I mentioned this, me and my daughter both looked at each other because you can hear the voice there. Now, he adjusts his voice a little bit for the actual character in the game, but you can hear it there. And it was just cool having him on screen. And then you got David being a generic bad leader. I didn't find any of this interesting. The whole slapping the kid and yada, yada, yada. I don't mind if he, beat the hell out of all the kids in the compound. I don't give a shit. But if they don't do it in a cool way, I'm down for it. This was really lame, generic. Matter of fact, I don't even think there was any diversity in this group either. You know what I'm saying? Now that I think about it, wasn't it just a whole bunch of evil white people that were cannibals? Anyhow, there's too much focus on... there's too much, and this is not just this episode, but every episode up until this point, there's way too much focus on people that don't even last longer than one episode. Some of the times, technically, it's not even half an episode, but we don't need all this focus. We got more in the game when just hearing bits and bobs than we did in the show, and we're actually in their compound. So a lot of that is, I think it's doing the show an injustice. We don't need to sit there, kick it with them, and yada, yada, yada. Little moments like the David carrying Ellie for miles. The Last of Us has done these little bits and bobs, and I'm hammering home a couple negatives, but I didn't mind the episode. I'm probably more along the positive side, but I will say the map scene was great where, now that I think about it, the map scene was great. Ellie breaking his finger was great. The throwing the heated stick that was on fire was really dumb. I kind of wish he just started a fire and then he walks out and you can see it, starting to rage up. I don't know. He's got a gun. She doesn't know if it's going to catch light. It's not like she spilt gasoline or something, or something that'll ignite. It's a weird thing to, this guy has a gun, for you to pop up and throw a burning stick at him, hoping something would happen. I don't know. That part was kind of stupid, but David's death was really badass. But if you look at it, the map scene, the broken finger, David's death, a lot of these moments that are really badass are one-for-one recreations of the video game. So I'm still in the camp that I probably would like the show a lot better if they just did the whole game as a live-action show. Hearing Joel, even though I don't think the show did a really great job bringing these two characters together, just because it fluctuated so much between episodes for a number of them there, and they're focusing on other people instead of Joel and Ellie's journey. This show should have been 9 episodes of the majority Joel and Ellie's journey. But him saying baby girl, it did look like the blood on Ellie went from coated in blood to not as much blood when she went outside, and it's not like she had any time to wipe it off. Now, maybe I'm just misremembering it because of the shadows or how it was filmed, but it looked like she was drenched in blood, and then she comes outside and her face is, clean for the most part. I don't know. So, a lot of the stuff from the game I like. A lot of the stuff that's original, it felt totally unnecessary, even though we get the point, again, when it involves the two characters. And I'm still getting the feeling where we're close to the end, and I got this feeling where the show is good. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's trash. I can see how people love it. I don't even think it's close to a 10 out of 10, though, on the flip side. And knowing what story we could have gotten from having already been through it with the game, I think this is a huge swing and miss. We have 1 episode left. A chunk of it is going to be a flashback of a character that doesn't matter, that's not connected to Joel and Ellie. It is cool that real Ellie is going to give birth to TV Ellie, video game Ellie. That's cool, symbolically. However, when it gets down to it, I'm here for their journey. The shit that comes along with it onto the side. Taking out the infected is probably one of the things that hurts it the most. It feels like a really pussy world. When you're in The Walking Dead and they run into zombies all the friggin' time, it is awesome because you're a zombie fan and you're seeing really cool practical zombie effects, but you get it when they say it's dangerous out there. You get it. In this show, they went across country. You know what I'm saying? They ran into 4 zombies. You know what I mean? It's like, and those zombies were mostly in the area that they were living at that was supposed to be relatively safe. So, I don't know. That's where I fit with The Walking Dead or with The Last of Us, where I can't hate it. For me, it's hitting at an okay. I think if I didn't play the game, because the game wowed me on all the story beats. If I didn't play the game, I probably would be a little more positive. But as a zombie/monster movie fan, I don't think it would be blowing me away. The story's too condensed for what it is. It does look beautiful. I think I didn't have a problem with the acting. This episode was fine for the acting. Suspension of disbelief was okay with some of the characters, with Joel being on his deathbed and then fighting.
I'm glad they kept in that David was a Chester, and Ellie going nuts when she killed him like the game. But yeah. Come on, W infected already.
Yep, I agree with all those points. And the finale's 43 minutes, yeah.
The finale is only 43 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, how about that bullshit, right? Thank you very much for the super chat. Tenebris, first super chat, well, thank you very much. The finale is only 40. Imagine that, the finale. Now, this is something where, we should be getting one final hurrah with Infected, and then we get to a part where now here's the thing. My friend already saw episode 9, and I asked him about, now it's not really spoilers. I don't know. I asked him about a certain character from from part 2 making an appearance, because everyone's like, speculating that would be the case. But I also asked about the giraffe scene, and I think I might have misread the text, because I thought he said there was no giraffe in episode, but the trailer looks like the giraffe scene is in it, because when they're standing there in the game, it's when they leave the giraffe, they talk about, let's finish this out, yada yada, because they're going down the stairwell. But in the trailer, it really looks like that's the giraffe scene. But anyhow, that's one of the scenes where I'd be shocked if they didn't do that. That's a huge fail. But anyhow, it looks like they're doing it. So I had to have read his message wrong. But it doesn't look like we're going to get anything from part 2 Horseshoed in here, unless my friend is kind of joshing me, setting me up for failure, where he's like, oh, don't worry. And then she shows up and it's like, oh, here we go. But so we're supposed to do a big, and they took out the picture with Sarah and Joel, which is another thing that really sucks, man. So we're supposed to get this last hurrah with Infected, the final connection with Joel and Ellie. They had their emotional moment here. We get the final connection with these two characters. This is it, the end of the journey. We have locked them in as, father-daughter bond. Like, it's them as a team, no matter what, from here on out. And then she gets captured. Then we get the hospital shootout. We're cramming all that in the 40 minutes. I'm telling you, it's going to be Joel shoots 5 people, snatches Ellie, and gets out of there. I don't know. No Infected. And they're squeezing in a flashback scene. And again, this is all in the trailer before anyone goes, spoilers. No, I'm talking about stuff that's in the actual trailer. But listen, the poll is showing that 52% love this episode, 39% was meh and okay, 10% hated it. I'm going to go and vote. I don't think I'm allowed to vote, but I would vote okay. I think the episode is just okay. It has this, it's one of those shows and movies for me personally where if it wasn't for the name, the brand, the video game itself, this would probably be one of those where you mentioned, well, when you get around to it, yeah, it's good. Check it out. You know, you want to watch a show and there's nothing on and you're in between shows you love. Yeah, this is, you know, it's worth a watch, you know. But obviously there's a caveat there, because one of the big things with this, and it still blows my mind, is this is a creature feature. Make no mistake about it. I know if you're not a zombie fan and you don't give a shit, that's fine. But at the end of the day, this is a creature feature. They should be up front, you know, a good chunk of the time. Because it's a show and not a game, it doesn't have to be as much as the game. Sure, you know, absolutely agreed. But make no mistake about it. That's like making a sci-fi alien movie, and I focus on some kid that got adopted and they go fucking run around in a cornfield backwards butt naked. I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any logical sense. I'm going to make a new Predator movie, but we're going to focus on this neighbor and his dog, and oh man, they're going to have this little bond moment where they go hunting and they fuck a little, you know? Anyhow, you guys leave thoughts and opinions in the comment box. I'm going to close this out now. And if you do want to check out what we discuss for fan feedback, you can go jump over to my live stream. Yeah, if you're on my live stream, stay here because this is getting cut out for the clipped portion. But so I'm officially done. I thought it was an okay episode. I think if they add in, you know, 30 more minutes filling this out, pull back on the showing us shit we don't need to worry about because it's a community that is a one and done. Add some infected, add a little more just oomph to some of the violent moments. I think you'd be rocking a higher score, but that's it. All right. So we're going to get into fan feedback. Let me put Musi on the tip goal here. Really appreciate the support. Where'd you go? Where did it go? Oh, did I miss it? Oh, there we go. No, what the fuck? How did I miss it? Well, I'll just get you right here. Yeah, I don't even see it in the thing. Baffled by the lack of infected? Yeah, same. The show could have been legendary. It could have been, but I don't think it is. I've seen some people say for them it's a 10 out of 10, and I'm glad you love it that much, but I just don't see it. Yeah, Spaceman, it's not terrible. I agree, but it's a huge letdown. I agree there too. Musi, let me put you on the. What was that, a 421? All right. I don't know what's going on with the game glitching so much. I was going to show a little bit of the game. I think we played some of this last week, but something is going on with it. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I guess Ellie isn't needed for the cure since there's no infected. I don't know. Maybe it's a small plus. Wait, hold on. I don't know if that helped. No. You know what I could do? I don't think it's going to bother you guys, but I'm going to restart the PS5. It shouldn't bother the stream. Watch, the whole thing fucking shuts down. I like the episode because it showed that Joel was a minute too late. So Ellie had to protect herself. It shows that she truly is capable. Up until now, we truly didn't know. I mean, that's a good point, but I might be reading it wrong, but I just don't see that being enough to. But I think what you mean is like you like that part of the episode, or maybe for you that part was enough. I mean, I like that part. But, and I think they should have kept it in there from... Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We're going to have to axe the... I think it's OBS. Because I ran into this problem before with OBS, and I had to shut the OBS down. But if I do that, I lose the stream. So, no gaming today, but that's fine. I'm surprised I'm not all jacked up, because usually when one's jacked up, the other's jacked up. All right, let me go to the bottom here. The show is a disappointment, period. No amount of bootlicking from normies and the mainstream media is going to convince me otherwise. Well, Nor's having a bad time with it. Ronnie, I wish I had money to send you. You deserve it, brother. Thank you very much, Jersey Life. So did I. I appreciate the thought. And give Ellie her bow. Yeah, I was disappointed they didn't do the bow. They scared to add infected. I don't know what it is. It can't be money. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, they showed us a lot of pretty stuff, and there's some visuals, but now that it all is said and done, when I'm looking at this as $100 million, I don't know, man. There's a few, and I got a video coming probably tomorrow, but I was wrong, and I'll admit it, absolutely. Now, I'm partially admitting it because I still think that the gorgeous landscape and the different environments, locations especially, it's going to give The Walking Dead an outdated taste when you watch it. It's like playing a PlayStation 2 game. Then you go to the future, play a PlayStation 4 game, and then you go back in time. And when you used to be impressed with PlayStation 2, now that you see what it could look like, you're like, oof, I can't fuck with this, you know? It's still going to have a little bit of that. But I will admit, The Walking Dead has something that The Last of Us just will not do. The infected. You know what I'm saying? The location is going to be a sting. But the infected and what they're doing with, the character work, if they could just make some serious touch-ups with the story, which they're not going to do, because the story is already a big fat whoa as of right now, with the Maggie show, I should say, because it's like the 17th kidnapped storyline. Jojo says the jabs at Christianity was in the game too. David was a religious preacher that quoted the Bible trying to kill you. Yeah, sure, whatever, bud. As soon as I've had extra money to spare, I give you my word, I'll send you. Don't worry about it. I appreciate it, though. I know it talks spoilers, but I'm talking. Can I let my family tune into the stream without spoiling game 2? Well, I don't have any plans on talking about, the second game, so if you want to, go ahead. As of right now, I'm not talking about it. This show felt like there was no heart. Walking Dead may not have the best CGI and some writing choices, but damn, a lot of the show had heart. Episode 1 and 8 are the only ones I've really enjoyed. The show was a 6 out of 10 with really good moments every 3 episodes. It's ridiculous. Oh, Musi.
Oh hey, I was hoping this one would be great like Clear, TWD, was on my B-Day, BC I consider my birthday cake episode, it was the third, bit of a bummer.
Let me change this goal. I'm going to shut this off because we don't need this. Actually, you know what I can do? Let me do something. I should double check that. I'm going to get rid of that. Because I don't think we're going to go long tonight anyhow. We'll see, so... So yeah, how do you say that? Ichigo Black said Ellie going berserk, but we couldn't see the aftermath. I think it would have been nice to get a little bit of a, that's what she had. Like, she had to look, and here's part of my argument for cutting out gore. Like, it's not enough for me to just go, oh, I bet that was messed up to look at. Like, she's looking at, something that she's done. It's horrific. Killing somebody is, that's like, that'll rock your world. But in the way that she mutilated him, you know what I'm saying? And she's looking at that like she did that. That's what she just done. Whether he was evil or not, like that's something that is like a big whoa. So, I argue in the game and for the show, I don't really mind if they focus on her trauma, However, to pull back, I think it does. You can make that argument that it does add, because it shows even for a glimpse, it shows the viewer, what Ellie's looking at that, shakes her up, is part of what shakes her up. I don't want people twisting what I'm saying. Was annoyed when they revealed David and his group to be religious.
Gore is an important part of Clue formula. The ugliness of it contrasts the beauty of Joel and Ellie's relationship.
Let me get to these two. Yeah, well, part of my argument too is I don't even mind. I don't mind a Bible verse here or there, to taunt someone, to say something. Like, they do it in plenty of movies where you don't even think about it, But once you go to the extreme of focusing on it in such a generic way, that we've gotten this David 100 times, and we're going to get 100 more. They just don't know how not to do it. We know what they're going for. They openly talk about, the type of what they're going for. This is something they've done in Hollywood. And I'm not here to defend anybody. My thing is story. Is it interesting? Is it something we've seen a million times? I'm looking for that tip from Musy. Where'd it go? Actually, let me just pull this up here. Hold on, I'm going to pull this up. All right. So Musy had said she was hoping this one would be great. Claire of the Walking Dead was on my B-Day because I consider my cake episode. It was the third bit of a bummer. Oh, okay. All right. Because you used emojis. So there was a point there where I wasn't sure what you were saying, but I feel you. And Claire was on your birthday. That's cool, though. Benjamin, thank you very much for the $6 dono. He said, gore is an important part of the Last of Us formula. The ugliness of it contrasts with the beauty of Joel and Ellie's relationship. I think there's a number of ways you can argue that the gore definitely impacts the show. That's why I cling on to that one scene in The Walking Dead where they cut the gore. And I think they did it just to save money because it was just cheaper to film around it. And it definitely impacts the story and how you view those characters, what they're going through, what they witnessed, how it shakes them up, shows how ugly the world is, how ugly the actions are, what you did. I mean, it's there. There's ways to do it for an enemy type when it comes to the infected. I mean, it shows why they're dangerous. Unfortunately, we're just not getting that, What are we at? 23? Thank you very much for the support, though. Benjamin. And as much as I hate to say it, this show is making me miss The Walking Dead. At least we're going to get some zombies when the spinoff starts airing. Laugh my ass off. I don't know why they're not doing Infected. I don't get it. It honestly feels like, there's no way you're a zombie fan or a movie monster fan and you're in, there's no way the co-creator is a fan of it. And it baffles me that Neil Druckmann even did it. Sometimes I feel like some people ride the wave of popularity for zombie stuff. And it's like, because think about it. All right, they did Clickers, and I give them a lot of credit. The Infected in The Last of Us, I consider one of the top best creative movie monster types. And I'm counting everything from zombies to aliens to predators to whatever it is. Predators up there is one of the top. Alien from Alien, the Xenomorph. The clickers and the infected from The Last of Us, it's up there as some of the best. Classic zombies also up there as some of the best. That held its own. But sometimes I feel like some people jump on the bandwagon where they're not overly, a fan of the infected or of the zombie genre, but they know that it'll sell. They know that it's a pipeline to a fan base, Generic Lurker, thank you very much for the 5 super chat. I appreciate that. The reason I say that is because I don't know how either one of them didn't make the argument, at least for some cool factor. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of room to squeeze them in there. We're focusing on characters that are about to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, the little girl crying she lost her daddy. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad David slapped your bitch ass, I don't care about you. You're not a character that's going to be in the show longer than... Oh, look at that. You're done already. You're already done. Why are we constant? What's the obsession with the writers of this series to showcase constantly characters that don't fucking matter? Like, again, if it wasn't for the fact that real Ellie is about to give birth to TV Ellie in a symbolic way, if it wasn't for that fact, it would be outrageous that we're having a flashback. I don't, for the life of me, even video game fans, I don't understand the obsession with Ellie's mother. She is a nothing burger. She did not know that she gave birth to an immune baby, unless they're going to try to say that in the flashback. There's no purpose. I know they said they wanted to do DLC about her mother. Who fucking cares? All she did was give birth. Millions of women do it all year. This character has there's no purpose story-wise for this character, unless they had some crazy interesting plan to tell that story. So to think that the season finale of The Last of Us is going to take 10 to 20 minutes out of the 40-minute runtime, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, I don't know, but at least a few minutes out of the runtime to tell the story of some girl that gave birth to Ellie. How does that affect it or connect into this storyline at all? At fucking all. You could make the argument for any character. Hey, let's go back in time and watch Joel's mother give birth. Let's go back in time and watch David's mother give birth next. What are we going to do in season 2? Let's see Tommy, his mother, give birth. We can compare it to when Joel's, because they're brothers. So we'll compare the birthing sessions together and see how exciting that is. If this show was made 5 to 7 years ago, maybe we would not have gotten a neutered show. This isn't a Walking Dead killer with no infected. Yeah, it's definitely not. And like I said, I'm going to talk about that in its own video, but it's not a Walking Dead killer. Last of Us is... Let me change this. What was I going to do? Let me do a... Oh, wait, hold up. That's what I wanted right here. We'll get rid of... We could have Michael on screen. We'll get rid of the PlayStation. All right. Leonard says, Last of Us is a drama show first and a zombie show. Wait, is a drama first and then a zombie show. The Walking Dead is the other way around. Characters are way better. Bullshit. Get the fuck. You're saying that because it's such an empty argument. Both of them focus heavily on the people. Heavily. There's almost no difference in either series when it comes to the landscape of the infected. There's almost no difference. The only difference is how much money HBO puts into it than The Walking Dead. Outside of that, there's no difference. You have people who come together. They either get along or they fight. And then outside of those groups, you have infected roaming around killing you. It's literally the same. And then when it comes to the people, you have these deep embedded stories that are filled with drama. I mean, look at the Walking Dead, for crying out loud. It still has a 3-way love triangle as the main, finding the family that you lost, right? So finding loved ones, and then a love triangle. I mean, it's one of the most, when it comes to one of the most, maybe even overused storylines that you could possibly do. Not overused, but it is. But one of the most what's that word I'm looking for? But I mean, you can agree with that, and I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying I bullshit on that. They are both the same because you need the drama between the people, but they are quite literally simmering in a landscape of infected. Both of them. I mean, you can make any argument you want to justify them not being there. It's not true. They're both the drama simmering, because if that's not the case, then get them out of the fucking game. See how well you do selling Last of Us Part 3 with no infected. Good luck. Musing. Father Gabriel's good. Do you think the future seasons of The Last of Us will be 100 million? I honestly, I don't know, because I'm at a loss where the fucking money went to. The Terra episode probably had more zombies than the whole Last of Us. Oh, probably. What did you think of Joel and Ellie reunion scene? It kind of felt off for me. Well, for me, it feels off because I'm not into the characters as much. You know, I'm just not there. 8 episodes, and you're just never gonna. For me, it's a big old swing and a miss. So, but I mean, I still don't mind it though. I see what they're going for, but it's never not gonna feel off. But I thought it was still done good. What's sad is I don't think a show like Early Walking Dead could be released these days. No, never. Oh, Veronica saving the fucking day.
This episode. Agree it needed infected more violence and some gore, but I got to see Joel choke somebody out and a bit of brutality.
Yeah, at least we got that. There's a couple things. First off, Veronica, thank you very much for dropping the bomb. I'm going to throw it up on the goal here. And I will say that is a welcome sight. Joel choking someone out. It's a major part of the game. We finally got it. Ellie also sneaking around, especially in that scene. It only missed. Why couldn't they just have one moment where, you know, she goes around the corner, kneels down, and you can see her heel just starting to step on like a broken plate or glass or something. And then as soon as she hears the crunch, she stops. Because again, this connects back to the episode where Joel put the glass on the ground. It connects to the video game. It adds a little flair to it. It heightens the tension of her being in trouble and not making a noise. You know what I'm saying? And it's a 2-second moment. And I don't know why it's not in there, but at least the majority of it is there. But I'm glad you liked the episode. Come on. What am I doing? If you haven't voted, though, definitely vote down below. If you're just showing up, anybody. There's a poll down below in the comment box. You can vote on the episode. So far, I think the poll is holding strong. We lost a point for the hate, but did we not gain one? It doesn't look like we gained it. So we're about to gain one because we just lost it on hate. But the other two, love and meh, seem to be holding strong. Showing Abby being born next. Let's do it. Remember when the early trailer for part 2 and there was all the speculation about it being her mom? Bro, that shit for the fans, it made me nuts. Remember I was spazzing out on the one stream where, and listen, I love fan bases, but sometimes we say the dumbest shit when it comes to speculation. I don't know where they get it from, but here's what we have. You have fans, now keep this in mind. Ellie is around 14, so that means that she was born around, she's 14, she's 14, 20 years later. That means she was born 6 years into the apocalypse. 6 years into the apocalypse. Quick math. Does that sound about right? Now, check this out. When we see the Abby getting strung up, we actually see clickers and infected, and the world as we know it, the same time Ellie is there as an adult. Which means that her mother would have to have survived exact locations that looked visually the same long enough for her daughter 20 fucking years later, because she's 19 at that time, to be in the same area. It makes no logical sense. No fan should have logically said that speculation. That was bad.
Lines by Ellie and David just sounded off and did not have that same punch as in the game.
I
agree. Buddy Boy and no one that's infected fights this hard to stay alive. Both actors are miscasts.
I agree. When David was leaving, he says a line in the game that was chilling. Remember, he was like, "What did you say? Tiny little pieces," But the way he said it was damn good. In this show, he was just like, "Ow, what did you say? Tiny little pieces? I'm out, bitch." Some of the lines did not hit, but I thought about that that moment when he walked out, and I was thinking, you know what? In a way, I kind of understand it though, because you're a voice actor. That's all you got for your role is your voice. So every line, every word, they're really putting a little extra oomph into it for voice acting. And what was I doing? And I get it, but in the same strength, some of the lines they felt like they didn't have that same kind of punch. Yeah, Walking Dead dialogue went downhill. They started turning it into waxing poetics. Where did we get the... I'm missing it here. Wait a minute. What the fuck? Is it not showing up in the chat or what? Oh, yeah, there it is. I can't see this one. Mega Dr. Dre. Yeah, I can't see that one on my screen. What the hell? It don't matter. You're up there. Let me add it to the counter. What was I doing? I think I fucked it up. I got it though. Someone mentioned Scream. Is anyone going to see Scream 6? I'm going. Season 2 probably won't air till 2025. What would that be? If they start filming, they're not filming yet. If they start filming the end of this year, I could see 2025. It all depends on when they get moving. They've almost completely negated the survival factor of the story. And they're going to waste time with Ellie being born. Yep. Yeah, that was the argument made the other day. They're rushing the first season to get to the second. Cuckman rushing to get to season 2 just to seek out more pats on the back from people like Anita Sarkeesian. Maybe. Eventually they have some zombies, right? No, there's one more infected scene coming up in the next episode. And based on the trailer, it looks like it is a flashback, so it doesn't even involve Joel and Ellie. So good luck with that. Or maybe my buddy meant there's infected only once more coming up in episode 9, meaning there could be 2 infected moments, Phased by Moons, thank you very much for the super chat.
Hey Ronnie, I returned the phone charger at the 99-cent store today.
Well, I'm glad you did that. I'm sure they needed the charger back on the shelf. I think that was from someone said that in a stream, and my daughter heard it and started dying. She was like, that was random as shit, So, Phased by Moons, I think they're just repeating that as a meme. It's funny. But I'm picking up what you're putting down. Hey, Ronnie, does a review for the new Scream? For a first impression review, I'm going to do it. I really want to get out there to see it. I know it comes out on the 10th. I wasn't able to get tickets for the 9th. I was thinking about it, but I just couldn't swing it. So I'll probably see it 10th, 11th, 12th maybe. So whatever, that's coming up this weekend, right? We'll see. I would like to get out there to see it. show feels like we're only getting a glimpse into the Walking Dead universe. There's no infected in the show, barely any action, just meet a new character every episode and then they die, rinse, repeat. Yeah, I gotta be honest, I hit a little bit of a burnout when it came to the Flaversaw. I was, and here's how it works sometimes. I was actually really excited to do a fresh episode with one, but other stuff came up and it kind of delayed it some. Well, a few episodes were already out when I decided let's do it. Kind of messed up with my schedule a little bit, but then a few more episodes goes by and I hit this burnout where I'm like, before I was excited because I was more positive. I went from being above, I was liking it. But then I hit a point where I'm doing episode 1 and I only think the whole season so far is just okay. So now it's switching more to, not that I want to rip it apart in a Flaversaw, but I'm definitely eager to explain why, it's not hitting the way, the way it should in certain stuff. So, but we'll see. I would love to do a review of, more of the Scream movies, though, for the Flaversaw. So how it would be is we'd talk about it on this channel, and then obviously the Flaversaw channel will get its own separate review, way more detailed. Would Pedro Pascal be busy if there's going to be Mandalorian Season 4? I don't know what's going on with that. Because it depends. If they're filming it back to back, that's a problem. Meaning at the same time, that's a problem. But if they're not filming at the same time, I don't think it's a big of a problem. Scream is it was always will be trash. I disagree with that. Scream 1 is an underrated masterpiece. The most times when I see people don't like it, they really knock on the meta aspect of it. And I gotta be honest, when I first saw it, I loved it as a teen. I thought it was fantastic. It was fun, it was fresh. However, the meta part was actually my least favorite part of it. It wasn't until later, after we started getting a whole bunch of copycats, I got a bit older, and I started diving deeper into some of the old horror movies that I liked growing up. And once I really understood the history of how horror movies kind of blew up and had its own sort of box office run through the 80s and 90s, especially the 80s. But then it started dying off in the 90s, or run throughout the 80s, early 90s started really dying off with just shit sequels after shit sequels. And all of it was kind of blah when Scream came out. Once Scream hit, it changed it. For better or for worse, it was a little bit of both. We got some good after, we got plenty of bad after. But there was some fun shit that came after. It changed the franchise itself, the genre. I'm sorry, it changed the genre itself. Added more meta, added this, added that. Now, Scream wasn't the first to do it, though. A lot of people forget that Friday the 13th Part 6 is basically Scream before Scream, as far as the meta comes into play. It has a lot of meta with the girl being like, I've watched enough horror movies to know that a guy with a mask, isn't a good thing, whatever the fuck she says. And then the Discover card, mocking the commercial. You have the guy talking to the camera, but he's really, how they did that, he's talking to the camera, fourth wall break, but then the kids are yelling, so it's like they're talking to the audience. You have to, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I think Scream is fucking underrated. It's solid. Scream is supposed to be cheesy. Yeah, it definitely has that built-in cheese factor to it. But if you think about it, especially when you go back and rewatch a lot of horror movies, they all do, you know, in a big way. I felt episode 1 was the best. It was only hour and a half episode, and it felt good. Flushed out, I don't know why. The Burning Maniac is good. Season 4 remakes coming out 24th. Resident Evil 4 remake is coming out on the 24th, and that's actually my birthday. As of right now, I do have plans to kind of have a birthday drink and play Resident Evil 4. That is my plan as of right now on the Ronnie Hayes channel. You intro this as The Walking Dead? Well, shit. I'm leaving it in. Prowler kind of boring. Yeah, Prowler was never my favorites. I've respected it a little more, tiny bit more, watching it much later though. Tip says good night. Good night. Good night. Are you gonna game on the Ronnie Hayes channel if we hit the 100 goal? If there's interest, we possibly can. It wouldn't be for too long, but we'll see if there's any interest. But I am going to be shutting down the Last of Us. I don't want to go, 2, 3, 4 hours. Well, obviously not, but with not on The Last of Us. Because right around now, around the hour mark, it's almost like on the dot. You start seeing chat kind of break off from The Last of Us. And I don't mind talking about other stuff. That's totally fine. But it just doesn't fit in that, But then you see a lot less comments that are, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of goes all over the place. Once Diablo is out, you can play. I'm not into Diablo. Yeah, I'm not in. I mean, I'll look at it. Maybe they changed it, but I wasn't into Diablo. Any of them, actually. The Last of Us show was always destined to fail, especially in today's political climate where virtue signaling Trump storytelling. I'm glad I sailed the high seas on this one. I like Black Phone, The Grabber is a new villain. I like The Grabber from Black Phone. Man, the encounter with Infected at the underground bus station right near the end game is an awesome encounter and can't wait for the show not to do it. Oh, they're not doing it. I doubt it, man. Musy, you agree on Scream 1? I feel you there. I got into debate about lack of Infected in the show on Facebook. Here's their response. Here, are you going to add their response? Because you didn't put anything after. Here's their response. I wonder what they'll do with Sydney's character since new Nev Campbell isn't going to be in it. I don't know. I hope they don't do some cheap off. They won't do an off-screen death for her. She's like one of the ultimate final girls. I know she doesn't get a lot of credit for being one, but she's definitely earned it. She's definitely she's like our generation's ultimate final girl. You would take like the 80s would be, even though it started in the 70s, actually. I guess the 70s final girl would be Laurie Strode, which it was kind of the 70s through the 80s. But no, that's a weird one, actually, because you have Laurie Strode in the 70s. Then, what was it, 1980 something was Halloween Part 2? I thought they did it faster than that, but I think it was 80 they did Part 2. So Laurie Strode was in that as well. So she was in the 80s. But then she came back in the 90s for H2O, because it was 20 years later. And then she came back for, you know what I'm saying? So Laurie Strode, that's a weird one because she's hailed as like, this ultimate final girl. But Sydney was straight up, Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 4, Scream 5. This is the only one she's not going to be in it. You know what I'm saying? So she's definitely the ultimate final girl out of the 90s. Unless I'm missing one. I could be, but Scream was way too slick and clean. Slasher flicks need to be grimy, if you know what I mean. No, I don't know what you mean. I mean, I'm all down for more gore. Absolutely. I know the first kill is gory as shit. I mean, it's a little too fast, but the first kill is fucking brutal. After that, yeah, they do go a little tame with it. I'm trying to think. You get a throat slit, but in the 80s and 90s, everyone had their throat slit in movies, you know? You saw a throat slit every fucking 20 minutes in the 90s. But I am in for more gore, more of the violence, more gritty. I think that does help it feel grounded and tense. And have you heard there might be rebooting Resident Evil again this time? They're doing a live-action Resident Evil 4 movie. I don't really care. I mean, I would love for them to do a Resident Evil, but I really don't care about anything they're doing movie-wise. I really don't. Unless I saw a trailer and it's like, wow, this is the one. But for Resident Evil 4, I gotta be honest, I don't see what the big hype is. Like, I like Resident Evil 4, but people praise it like this is like, you know, I don't know. So for me, it doesn't hit. I don't care about the tentacle shit coming out of their head. I don't care about the voodoo shit. I don't care about the priests and all that. I don't care about the cheesiness. And again, for this, if you're a Resident Evil 4 fan, you know, like, this are some of the aspects that, like, the cheesiness, how ridiculous. It's become a respected meme all on its own, all in itself. But I never liked any of that shit. I enjoy zombie stuff. I enjoyed the gameplay probably the most. But it has a lot in it that I didn't like, even back in the day. But funny enough, though, it's one of my favorite Resident Evils, and that's because I had a lot of fun with the gameplay. So when it comes to the movie, I mean, there's not much I like about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the idea. You're going to this village to hunt down some politician's fucking daughter, niece, something. Like, wow, that's fucking whack, you know? It's just generic. However, like I said, I had a lot of fun playing it. It's ridiculous and cheesy and kind of in a fun way. So I don't know what they could do where I would be like, oh, this is awesome. Other than take away shit that fans love. You know what I mean? And I don't want them to do that because it's not my cup of tea. Do you think there's possibility someone who never played the game will watch the show and then play the game after and feel like the show did it better? If you did, you're on drugs, you know? I mean, there's scenes definitely where you could be like, I prefer the show, but the whole thing, I doubt it. Ronnie, do you think they'll have a Last of Us Part 3? As of right now, I think the multiplayer is gonna be the temporary replacement for Part 3, just because of how big it is, what they claim they're doing. Now, based on what happens with the multiplayer's success, I think that'll determine how quick we get a Part 3. I think it's coming, but I think, the multiplayer will probably put it on ice for a couple years. Ronnie, do you think they will have Last of Us? Okay. I'm looking forward to Saw X. Saws are a guilty pleasure for me, but I'm burned out. It would be cool if Sydney came back for Scream 7. I want Stu to come back. I don't see what the big fuss is about just because a TV fell on him, you know? I don't see, fuck it. Who gives a shit? Laurie Strode literally died and came back. And this is how sometimes it gets a little ridiculous, because Laurie Strode literally died. Literally died. And then came back and they said, oh, the movies just didn't exist. Which, by the way, that's fine, you know? So for them to just say, like, oh no, the TV is too immersion breaking. Get the fuck out of here. You know, get the fuck out of here. Never forget the fun factor of movies. At the end of the day, when you live one life, do you really want to squabble over something so petty as like, well, we can't do that because a TV would kill him? In all reality, a TV probably wouldn't have killed him, you know? He probably would have got fucked up, you know? But in reality, as the TV fell on his head, he'd put his hands up. It would hit his hands and his face between the bracing of the impact of his hands. Even if he was a weak little bitch and he couldn't catch the TV, they're pretty heavy, but give me a break. Even Stu could catch a TV. It would stop it enough for him not to split his head open. You know what I'm saying? So, and they always have TVs break in movies. That's stupid and ridiculous, but so it's a give or take. Resident Evil Village, I love the symbolism behind Stu's death, but I don't love his death. I never have loved his death, but I like the symbolism, or I should say I accept and respect the symbolism behind it, you know? The same device where they learned and watched horror movies and learned how to kill people, that same device that kind of mentored them into becoming more creative killers, as they put it, was the device to kill. Like, I like that aspect, but Blu-ray. Some people are saying the Sydney is going to be a killer, which is crazy. Well, I don't want to get into spoilers. I fucking doubt that. But they would have to get into some. They would have to get into some. Again, it all depends on the reasoning of stuff. But again, I don't want to get into it. But I don't see them taking. I just don't see them taking one of the ultimate final girls of the 90s and doing it in a justifiable way. And that's a part of the problem that I have with fans nowadays, maybe for a while, probably for a while, is they think of what could be the most ridiculous thing to make you go, oh, and then they go, that's a great idea. Just because you get shocked, like, wait, what? You know, it's not always a great idea. Now, again, there's going to be a portion of the fan base that they love the most like ridiculous shit ever just because it makes them go, oh my God, what? No way, you know? I just don't operate like that. It has to, shocking is always good, but it has to connect, you know? Ronnie, have you, I actually just saw Knock at the Cabin. Believe it or not, my mother's been wanting to see it for a while. She ended up renting it on her Amazon account a couple days ago. And she had told me, and I told her, when you see it, let me know what you think about it. So she calls me up and I said, so what'd you think about the movie? And she goes, she was real excited though. And I was like, oh, all right. And I was like, well, maybe I'll watch it sometime. She's like, get on my account and watch it. I just paid $20 for that shit. You will watch it. So as a matter of fact, was it last night or the night before? I forget, but I was tired. I fell asleep early and woke up at like friggin' 2 a.m. or something. And I watched it. Long story short, I was not impressed. Not at all. That's a weird one. If you're going into that movie, it is exactly what you think it is from the trailer, and that's it. You know, you're getting what you think from the trailer. There's no, there's nothing else. There's no twists. There's nothing. It's the trailer, and that's it. So, yeah. Ron Hayes, do you have any interest in Knock at the Cabin? Okay. Your next is the best final girl. I don't think Sydney is going to be in 6 because she wasn't getting paid enough money. Yeah, Stu was supposed to. They tried setting up Stu to be alive officially. I forget in what part. Some of the behind the scenes runs together. Get your last minute comments in though. I'm going to end the poll for the movie. We're going to get ready to shut down. The poll is episode 8 of The Last of Us comes in at 53% love, 37% meh and okay, and then 8% hate. Now that breakdown is weird because you have 7 and 3 is 10. 5 and 3 is 8, so that'd be 90. You have 98%. How does that work? You know, we're missing 2% somewhere. Maybe I'm just forgetting how that could break down, but yeah, we're missing 2%. Opinions on All of Us Are Dead. I finished it last night and it was very good. Korean. Well, I reviewed every episode. I'm almost positive. That's the one where they're at school, right? And they get attacked? Yeah, if you go on my channel, I reviewed every episode. I'll be honest, I'm not going to remember I'm not going to remember. I don't remember it. It's not rememberable, but I will say I was more positive on, there's stuff I didn't like. I don't think I liked the ending, but watch my reviews though. But I remember, I do remember I liked it enough to finish it. I did finish it. Is that the one I'm thinking of? All of Us. Let me just double check. Yes, they're all public, and I did review every episode, all 12. Wait, did I review all 12? All of Us Are Dead, episode 12. Oh, yeah, because I did 10 and 11 together, 8 and 9 together, 6 and 7 together. Episode 5, episode 3 and 4, episode 2, and episode 1. I'll give you a link to the first one, and then you can probably find them from there. I'll put it in chat. Here's the link to All of Us Are Dead. Yeah, I did. Did I ever play Witcher 3? I haven't gotten around to it. I started it, but I just couldn't swing it. I didn't hate it. It's just that at the time I was busy and I never got back around to playing it. I couldn't vote because I haven't seen the episode yet. Gonna watch the episode tomorrow. Gotcha. The music placement is awful. Am I the only one? All I remember is the music didn't blow me away. You know, there was nothing to remark about the music, so I don't know if it was bad. It didn't win me over, though. Have I seen Cocaine Bear yet? No. I give it a 10 out of 10, hilarious and scary. It's weird, though, because I've gotten like 10 people that told me about Cocaine Bear, right? I'd say like 4 of them are saying like ridiculous fun. A good 5 of them are like, it is just trash, you know? And then there's a couple floating around that are, 1 or 2 floating around that's like, I don't see what the big deal is, you know? So it might be one of those where you really love it or you really hate it. We'll have to see. I'm still going to check it out, though, you know? All right, Jersey Life. You're right. It's been an honor. Thank you very much. Here's Negan says, Ronnie, when are we getting the Thing Flaver saw? I don't know. I do not know. Honestly, I was really anticipating hitting 1,000 subs by the end of February. We started February real strong. And then we were getting views. Like, we got a lot of attention, but the subscribers didn't really hold up, you know? I mean, it was like one every like 10 days. But we were getting plenty of views. We got people stopping by to watch it. So that kind of beat me up a little bit. I'm still waiting for it to really pick up in the algorithm. And like I said before, the loose plan, you guys are going to start voting this summer. But the loose plan is at least the premiere, because we did The Walking Dead episode 1. Next is The Last of Us episode 1. Halloween Ends. I might put up the Walking Dead episode 2 because those are already done. But Halloween Ends. We're going to be getting into Friday part 1 through 5. And when we hit 5, we're going to get into, again, the loose plans were Scream 5, Scream 6, because it'll be out by then, Predator, and then somewhere along that lines, Thing is around there, but we're also transitioning to voting. You know what I'm saying? During the Friday the 13th ones, the whole plan is to do community posts every other day, get more, because I already got a list of ones you guys picked. But part of the problem is I need to build up just more people to vote on it. It's real hard to do voting when you got like 10 people that join the voting system. We have more than that. I think when I did the Batman one, I think we had like 30 people participate. So, but I do want to build it up at least a little bit more. So, but like I said, we're shooting for this summer to get into the voting, and hopefully we'll be close to the Thing. And then from that point on, it should be, if all goes well, based on what you guys pick. But I'm trying my best to stay 2 reviews ahead of you guys. That's my main goal. Or if I can get the... I might even do like a video just to see if there's a chance anyone wants to help jump on with the Patreon support to build that up. That would help out a ton. Right, everyone, chat, has been an honor. I want to see Cocaine Bear. Ellie and Abby are going to hook up by season 3. I bet that'd be crazy. Not in a good way. I watched the gameplay prior to watching the episode. The interrogation scene was okay somewhat. One twist and knock. I didn't really get any twists and knock. Unless it was like a small thing, like the guy lied or something, you know what I mean? But it's what I thought was in the trailer is what happened to a T, So maybe, I don't know, maybe I was on a good day that day. Watch Joel kill like 3 guys and get Ellie. And that's what I said after it ended. I was like, I bet you it's going to be like he kills 5 people and bounces. Have you ever watched Snowfall? It's a fantastic show. Yes. You know what's funny? I watched Snowfall and I forgot about it. I must have forgot about it all 1 year because they're advertising a new season. I start the new season and then I noticed I don't know anything of what's going on. The recap was all new stuff. So I somehow watched 4 seasons of Snowfall, totally missed season 5. I started season 6 and then I had to go back. So I'm in the middle of season 5 and season 6 is coming out now. So hopefully by the time I'm done, season 6 is out so I can watch all of it. But I do like Snowfall. It does get a little, they are taking somewhat of like you can tell it's writers today writing people back then. There's some of it that feels organic, but some of the way the people talk and, kind of their, how the culture bleeds into it, it really feels like people of today's brain going back and writing it. All right. I'm just telling my daughter goodnight. Let's roll. Watch Joel kill 3 guys. Where's my water? I think it's one of the better episodes. Upset they cut out David and team and shortened her escape, but glad we got Joel killing a few guys up in the cell and diner. Yeah, I would probably put it up there as probably one of the better of. It's definitely better than 6. No offense on 6. Definitely better than 3 because it actually has characters that matter to the entirety of the story. I think I like 2 better. 4, I don't know. 4 is just okay. I remember 5 is only good because of the bloaters, if I'm being honest. The infected scene at the end. So yeah, it's probably up there as one of the better ones. They started filming the new Alien film for Hulu. Yeah, I gotta see. People in my Discord are saying it's woke or trash or something. So I gotta see what that's all about. But I don't know. I'd actually be upset if the giraffe scene isn't in the finale. It's gotta be. I think I just read my friend's message wrong, but it's gotta be. Maybe they'll switch it up and they'll run into the giraffe after the hospital before going back to Jackson. But that wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense because in the scene where it looks like the giraffe would be, that's the moment where they say like, it's me and you. Because again, that's vital. Joel and Ellie make the acknowledgement that it's them from here on out. Wherever she goes, Joel goes, wherever Joel goes, she goes. It's agreed upon. That's important because that plays into Ellie's choice, whether she has one or not. A lot of people skip over this when they defend part 2, but they forget Ellie specifically told them, wherever you want to go, where you go, I go. That does not mean sacrifice me, So when it comes to that, I'll leave it spoiler free. But when it comes to that, that's why it's more intertwined and it's more complicated than part 2. Part 2 makes it out to be like really stupid. I mean, Joel is a real big idiot. They wrote him as in part 2 where she freaks out and he could just say like, there was a doctor trying to murder you, right? But Joel says nothing. The show is garbage, says Nora. What episodes would you go back and watch so far? The horse scene was okay. Here's part of the problem with The Last of Us show. I wouldn't watch anything back again. There's not enough oomph and cool factor. I don't know. I have no interest to buy this on Blu-ray, which is odd, man. Because well, no, that's not odd. I'm a creature feature nut. I love them, you know? But there's nothing to rewatch here for me. I might rewatch it in, I don't know, 2-3 years, see if I feel different. But yeah, even the drama, like even with the drama, I should say, it's lacking some of the cool shit. Since where did we go? Oh yeah, everything needs to have this dramatic purpose, but cool shit, what is that? Like, where is the cool shit, man? Yeah. You guys let me know if you'd rewatch anything, but I don't have a desire to rewatch any of these episodes unless it's to review it. I think the cast of the new Alien film are all in the early 20s. I'll have to look it up. Based on the promo, it seems like they run into pregnant Ashley Johnson and save her from the infected. That's a flashback, bud. I remember when a lot thought she'd be Ellie's mom. According to an article, they confirm that she's Ellie's mom. We have it in our Discord. If somebody remembers, you can put it. But yeah, good vibes only. That's supposed to be a flashback of Ellie's mom. Again, I'll double check, but I could be misremembering the article, but I'm almost positive. Let me see here. Before we shut her down, let me just look this up, because we do have to close it. Where did my little button go? Oh, it's over here. Damn it. When I'm editing, my grandfather taught me this. I put a little googly eye on my buttons on my keyboard, and it creates like specific buttons that I use for editing. And I could be in pitch black, and based on those buttons, I could go do. For me, it works. I don't know. You might be like, well, don't you remember where the buttons are? No. It's just so much easier that way. Anyhow, Last of Us, Ashley Johnson playing HBO. Johnson plays the mother of the main character, Ellie, though how significant this role will be is difficult to say. In the game franchise, Ellie's mother is never shown, she's only talked about, and we read a letter from her at the end. This comes from Dexterdo.com. There's also Essentially Sports. I don't know. We Ain't Ready, the original Ellie, aka Ashley Johnson, and Bella Ramsey's heartbreaking mother-daughter relationship will leave The Last of Us fans in tears. The Last of Us episode 8 finally... okay, that's... never mind. The original Ellie actor finally appears. The Last of Us finale trailer. So she's her mother. Yeah, she's her mother. So it is confirmed. Sorry for ruining that. I think you're crazy. You wouldn't rewatch any episodes. No, I would not rewatch any episodes. Now, again, though, is keep in mind, this isn't something where I'm saying I'm never going to rewatch another episode ever in my life. I'm not in a rush to. It's going to be rare when I rewatch them. I might revisit them in a couple years to see if I feel different, or I'll rewatch them sooner for a review if they take off on the Flaversall channel. Episode 2, Infected, was the best in the whole series so far. I think I agree with that. Because episode 5, was it? It's just too fast, too dark, too quick. I think the only thing they did better in the show was Sarah. It was phenomenal. Everything else is very disappointing. I hope the shootout next episode is decent, at least. It won't be 10 minutes scene of guns ablazing, but I hope it's not just 30 seconds. I think it'll be something like just like a 3-minute quick in and out. Do you have a Dawn of the Dead Flaw vs. Awe? Yes. Or Shaun of the Dead? I have the original Dawn of the Dead Flaw vs. Awe. I did that one. I thought I had it pulled up here. I guess not, but If you search Flaversaw and look up Dawn of the Dead, I could probably put a... I'll put it in chat. Oh, I just noticed my thumbnail. That's funny. Even Joel is sick of this shit. I did it just as a joke. But that's funny. It's in chat right now. This is the link for Flaversaw, Dawn of the Dead. I do want to do Shaun of the Dead. You spelled Sean wrong, by the way. I'm just teasing. But you did. I am just teasing. I really don't care. I don't know. But it's totally, by the time we get to it, it'll be totally up to you guys if I review it or not. Like I said, with it was weird with the map channel because we reviewed The Walking Dead, huge, viewer base. But when I did other zombie stuff, it was a hit or miss whether there was interest. Most of the time, there was not interest unless it was something that blew up, like Train to Busan, for example. But outside of that, Dawn of the Dead, Shaun of the Dead, the interest was just not there. So I want to do them. I want to do the main. I've already done Night of the Living Dead, already done Dawn of the Dead, the originals. I've already done Train to Busan, but I want to do I've done Night Dawn, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead. I want to do the 1990 Night of the Living Dead, the 2008 Dawn of the Dead remake. What else? 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, Shaun of the Dead. That whole roundabout with a couple more. And then for zombies, I'm good until you guys vote. I like the show, but I hate that I know it could have been top tier TV. Like they get some moments so right, but then they rush stuff and cut violence, which I don't give a fuck. What they say matters. Excuse me. Did you watch Army of the Dead with Garrett Dillahunt? Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it. If Bruce Straley was still involved with the Last of Us franchise, we probably would have gotten a very different part 2. That's what I hear. Biggest fans of the show seem to be the people who haven't played the game. Yeah, I guess it's easier to love something when that's all of what you're getting from it, I'm also super... keep in mind, though, if I was brand new to it, I would still be bitching there's no infected. I mean, you can't tease, here's a zombie apocalypse, and then not show it. You know what I'm saying? And again, let's not bullshit ourselves. I mean, this is marketed as a zombie show. I mean, come on. Zombie-ish, I'm just also super disappointed in the environment. Everything seems like it's still the normal world besides the city in episode 2. I wish we had more time with the environment around them. Yeah, that's the thing that's so shocking is we got glimpses of what I thought it would be. And the environments are amazing, but I got to be honest, after like episode 3 or 4 or such, the environments haven't been all that crazy. I could say the mall was probably one of the more impressive ones, but I didn't really care what was going on for the most part. True, it's because I already seen it, So, and with characters that I thought did it better. So I don't know. Last questions. Why would Abby want revenge the way the show's going? Joel will just give the doctor a stern look. Yeah, they'll kill him off screen. Thanks for the video. Link, you should cover Army of the Dead. Was it ever stated where Abby was when Joel took out the NPC? I don't think they say where she was. No. I mean, they could in part 2 hint to it somewhere on base. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. To be honest, I really don't give a shit where she was. It's kind of stupid. Would I do Army of the Dead at this point? Not unless it's voted for. So, can we see Abby get clapped by Owen for 15-20 minutes of the episode next season? Yeah. All right, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me. I've noticed I'm already going way off base. I really appreciate the support. The tip supports help out tremendously. I would like to do more videos, especially covering Scream coming out. Like I said, I have some discussion videos that I haven't really done in a while, but I would like to, like being wrong about The Walking Dead, this show being a Walking Dead killer. Some of those I was going to just start throwing up on the channel just to put some more stuff out there. Again, I don't know, but we'll see how it goes, because I'm unsure about the direction I want to go with this channel, because the main focus is the Flaw vs. Awe channel. So we'll see. I don't know if you guys are interested in more. Put it this way: the last week the stats for the live stream fell off a bit, but I don't know if it's because that episode is one that people just weren't interested in, or if people are just burned out of The Last of Us, or what it is. So I'll look at the analytics and see what's going on, and if the last two hold up, maybe we'll test a couple after the Last of Us ends. Maybe we'll test some streams to see if we can do something that isn't just around one show or one topic, where we can do multiple topics. So we'll test that out. But have a good night, be safe, and I'll see you guys next Sunday for sure for The Last of Us season finale. That's 40 minutes long with a 15-minute flashback to a character that doesn't matter. Fucking yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, you know? Oh, man. Thank you very much for the support, and good night.